Shalom, my name is Yehoshua Yaakov. This video is being made from Jerusalem. First, I want to thank the blessed women who have looked at most of my videos, and I see in the statistics and the logs from YouTube that the percentage is significantly growing. First, thank you, and secondly, I want to say congratulations. The women closest to God are leaders. They're leading the redemption, and I want to tell you a brief story about a woman that I love very much. And I want to say this in a context. The God of the cosmos gave me the most blessed, remarkable woman as a mother. Bless her memory, Loretta Halpin. She was the mother of 7 boys. I'm the youngest. And she taught me, excuse me, I'm a bit choked up when I even think about it, much less speak about it. She taught me clearly the most important, vital, essential lessons in life. And that was to trust in God, to draw close with all your heart and soul to God, and listen first and listen only to God. And you will know when God speaks, God doesn't speak with a human voice. There are many mediums and levels: the psycholinguistic, the cognitive, the behavioral, and the psychosocial. And you will begin to understand the meta-narrative and the grammars of God's speech. And from this you will learn to recognize your authentic self. Women were created by God, by His divine plan on a higher spiritual level than man. And this is why women are closer to God. And so I congratulate you in the tremendous cognitive proofs that you've demonstrated in listening to the videos. So I want to say a few things that are important and not dwell too much on any one point. A very significant event has happened about 18 years ago. I first observed that I'm a didactic scientist. I'm the author of Humanomics, which is the East-West convergence model. What does that mean? There's a system in the East, predominantly communism, socialism, and in the West, capitalism, democracy. Both systems, both models have collapsed, because both were built upon the local reality, which was giving to receive. I give, I get. That's finished. Why? That was exile. That was the central organizing principle of man and mankind's exile, and it is collapsed. And the proofs, empirically and logically, that as a didactic scientist I observed, began 18 years ago, and it's been since confirmed. And in 1995, that collapse visited Israel. With the collapse, with the murder of Rabin, it collapsed the local reality here, which was Israel's Zionism. Unfortunately, the bad news, the reason Zionism collapsed is because it was communism and their oil and water. So it collapsed. And communism has not yet collapsed in Israel. It will. And what comes after this, not only in Russia, in Yugoslavia, in America, in Canada, in Africa, in Europe, in Asia, is Humanomics. That's the East-West convergence model, and it's comprised of 2 paradigms. The first, the central organizing principle, is the new cognitive behavioral science paradigm: receiving to give. Receiving what? Receiving the authentic you to give the authentic you, to your children, to your family, to your community, and your nation. And this is why it is the central organizing principle of Humanomics, which is the model for man and mankind's redemption. For the secular who don't believe in God or redemption, well, okay, so it's also for them. It's the pre-modern, modern ascent from behavioral man to cognitive man in the era of post-modernity. So it's the postmodern cognitive behavioral science first principle. Okay, so it's equally applicable to the secular. They don't have to compromise, if they feel they are, with their language, vocabulary, grammars, etc., etc. They have their own meanings. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so humanomics is comprised of these two. And the second paradigm is the new economic paradigm, the integration of labor. And I'm the author of Humanomics in the Two Paradigms. And the new economic paradigm is there's a tremendous problem with the cost of energy. Well, the old local reality in macroeconomics around the world and all of the G9 economies collapsed. The division of labor model is no longer viable. It's no longer the least cost method of mass producing, with energy costing $150 a barrel. Local reality collapsed. So integration of labor is the new quantum reality that replaces it. I'm not going to talk about that more than to say that's what it is, and I've presented it with a lot of effort to the Obama campaign without the proper policy commitments, responses, etc., etc. today. So come on, women, draw near to the God of the cosmos and pray for Yehoshua that God will help that this be received and accepted. And so I thank you very much for listening. I thank you for the blessings. And I want to tell you very briefly now about that story about the woman. I am today who I am and what I am, and very, very blessed because of a great woman, Loretta Halpin, of blessed memory, my mother, but even more importantly, Sarah Nomi Ben Avraham, my wife. She's a remarkable woman. She came to learn, and she said, when she came many years ago, she said, is there anything about loving yourself in the Torah, in the Bible? And I said, of course. And I began to teach her. And her husband at the time, she was married and had 3 children by her first husband. And so they were both students for a number of years. It wasn't until a few years after she divorced that we were married. But I learned what the power, the enormous power of a woman's faith is in God and herself, and in the higher dimensionalities of what is a humble faith and a cognitive faith in the Creator of creation, the God of the cosmos, the God of science. And so we have 2 magnificent, beautiful sons, Yehudi Yitzhak Yosef Yeshayahu, 7 and 4. I'm an old man. I'm 66 years old. But they are the joy of my life. And I've been very blessed to produce what is very important to the future of Klal Yisrael, the Jewish people, but also of all mankind. And the women are the ones who have first truly cognitively seen, not the scientists, not the politicians, not the intellectuals. They didn't. The intuitive, profound cognitive judgment of women that I have met, seen, and know, they have demonstrated a remarkable faculty to comprehend, and this is a spiritual faculty, without a doubt. Complexity does not seem to have any part in the equation. They seem to, the gals, bless them, they seem to have some great natural faculty to breeze through inductive and deductive logic in a very different way, in a gestalt and in a spatial way, not in a pedagogic way, as do men. Anyway, their left hemisphere, the spatial, is to me, as a scientist, truly remarkable faculty. So we bless you in Kabel B'Shilatet, that's Hebrew for receiving to give, and we bless you and your family, your children, your community, and your nation. We thank you for listening, and that's really all I have to say today. And stay tuned, there'll be more. Thank you for listening. Shalom from Jerusalem.